So let's move on to football because I have reported for the last couple of days. Well, I don't know if you want to say
Also,
reported.
remember Joe Schubert podcast on BlackSwordRadio.com. I am also going to be doing a Where Things Stand NFL series. At the end of next month, I will be putting out, or at least the beginning of October, I will be putting out the final edition of Where Things Stand MLB Edition Part 3.
Don't you love how we just go from screaming at each other to promoting our stuff? Isn't it great?
I mean, we have to in a way. I mean, we have to, but also I try to promote as much as I can, but I haven't been able to get around to stuff. Like, being in the studio, I'm kind of just remembering everything that I need to do now.
Yeah. If you guys, if you're already a member of Fitzgerald Radio, or if you're not a member of Kent State, and you, don't want to see a million tweets and me promoting stuff for the next week, mute me for the next week, because all my tweets are just going to be about Fitzgerald Radio.
Oh, yeah.
So, with that being said, but yes, let's move on. So, I have tweeted over the last, month or so, really over the last couple of days, from all of the sources, and you guys know I found plenty, at least 15 guys who cover the Eagles, who write for the Eagles. Like, I am clued in. I listen to the local radio 94 whip in Philadelphia all the time. I am telling you, the Clowney buzz in Philadelphia is real. They have reached out to Howie Roseman.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The Eagles have the cap space to do it. And they could realistically offer Nelson Aguilar and a pick next year, maybe a guy like a Wendell Smallwood or Josh Adams, because the running back crew is loaded.
Yeah.
If Philadelphia gets Jadeveon Clowney, and it's funny, because last night...
I mean, they would have a very good chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Not a very good chance. It's over. It is over. Who are you going to block?
Are you
Brandon
sure
Graham,
that...
Frederick Cox, Malik Jackson, Jadeveon Clowney, Timmy Jernigan, Derek Barnett.
Injuries, remember.
Okay, barring injury. We can always say barring injury. But talent-wise, that Philadelphia team is off the roof. Step.
I mean, that's a very interesting scenario, because I really didn't think that much through, because I still feel like that's just posturing by the Texans.
See, and no, Clowney's getting traded. I actually believe it's going to be Miami, because they just want to get rid of him. And Miami's going to be dumb enough to take the deal.
If they are, I will laugh my
But the more I think about this, you would have to put Derek Barnett on the bench. Now, Philadelphia has a lot of young talent, too. We have this guy, Hall, who has shined in the preseason. Mm-hmm. He leads the preseason in pressures, according to Pro Football Focus. We have a lot of young talent on the defensive line. So that would be the question of, do we want to do it or not? It's funny. So, shout out to Dante Centovante, if you're listening right now, Dante, because I asked him last night on the sidewalk here again. We were talking for a few minutes, and he asked me about the Clowney deal, and then, we were talking about the Cowboys, too. And he was like, right now I have the Cowboys winning the NFC East. I was like, Dante, no! Philly is better than Dallas even without Clowney. And then if you add Clowney...
Yeah,
my God,
Clowney just terrorized Andrew Luck, bro.
And I'm sick of hearing this, Carson Wentz, and, could he stay healthy and all this? Look, I get the torn ACL, right? I mean, that play happened.
Yeah, there's
the
not
back
much more.
injury happened because it just happened. I mean, that's more of a concern to me is the back. But he has had a full training camp, which he didn't have last year. He has been lights out in training camp. He looks ready to go. We didn't play him in the preseason because you don't have to play your preseason starters anymore. I'm telling you right now, the Birds offense, you got Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert with that 12 personnel. If you want to go 11 personnel, you got Aguilar if he doesn't get traded. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, who is an absolute beast. You had Deshaun Jackson, the speedster. Alshon Jeffrey.
Deshaun Jackson's out for a week or two, I believe.
No, he's not. They have confirmed he will play week 1.
Okay.
He broke his left index finger, which is his non-catching finger. He's going to wear a splint. Doug Peterson confirmed it last night. After the game. He's fine, by the way. But I am excited. I know everybody wants to talk about the Browns around here and how great their offense is.
We can skip
Philadelphia is underrated, people. We're the most underrated team in football.
I don't think you're underrated. You've been getting some hype, but I do want to talk about...
Not as much hype as what we should.
Yeah, but I want to talk about something else. A team that would have been very hyped up if they had still had their quarterback, and that is Andrew Luck. I addressed this a little bit when it came out. Like, I was out and about, and when I saw the news, my jaw just dropped, because I don't really count the Calvin Johnson retirement as shocking because of everything he was going through there, but Andrew Luck...
This was the most shocking retirement in the history of the NFL.
I think, Barry Sanders still could be, because, don't forget, we weren't alive then, but But in our generation, this Andrew Luck is it. I mean, Andrew Luck had everything that going for him, but unfortunately, like, just injuries took a toll. And if he didn't have this injury that he was going through before he retired, with like this leg ankle thing, it would have been. I mean, he still could have been one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. I'm not saying he would have been top 5, but it would have been. You could have made a plausible case for maybe top 10 or 15 of all-time quarterbacks. Andrew Luck, like, I'm just kind of ticked off now at former GM Ryan Grigson and for him trying to go for broke, not developing an offensive line for Luck, and then he just got battered to pieces, and now he's retired and we're deprived of such a great talent. I mean, I honestly think now that he could have been better off if the Browns had the number 1 pick and drafted him. I think he would have been
not at that time.
I'm not saying like the Browns would have been like winners like year 1, but I'm saying like by year 3 or 4, Browns would have figured this stuff out because they had the franchise QB, and that would have solved most of their problems.
By the way, right now the only 2 quarterbacks from the 2012 draft that are starting, Nick Foles, Russell Wilson, both in the 3rd round. That's a fact.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe that.
Russell Wilson was.
And who would have thought that Matt Schaub, RG3, and like a ton of others would be outlasting Andrew Luck?
Yeah. But, you know, we obviously wish Andrew Luck the best in his future endeavors.
Andrew, if you're listening to this, which we know you are, we wish you the best in retirement, and we hope that you have a great life. If you ever come back to football, football will gladly accept you. And I know Indy fans are just, you know, a little bit confused right now, and I hope that they are willing to forgive you.
And, you know, I do want to shout out my good friend Andrew Bacca, the host of the Andrew Bacca podcast. I'm going to be going on there tomorrow night talking more about this situation at 7 p.m.
Hashtag promo.
So if you want to tune in there. All right, I want to end with this today.
Okay.
The Browns. And,
oh, boy.
Look, as
Can we skip the O-line thing? Because I think that...
We can skip that. As you know, this is my big topic I want to talk about.
Okay.
Freddie Kitchens.
You're still on the Greg Williams train, I know that.
I'm not really on the Greg Williams train. I am on the is Freddie Kitchens ready?
Alright, so I have a perfect response to
this. Is Freddie Kitchens going to be able to handle all of this? Is he a typical better coordinator than head coach? Because I think Freddie, you know who Freddie reminds me of? Freddie should be down in Alabama coaching Alabama football. Like, Freddie Kitchens to me sounds like this great guy, this great grandpa. He'd be a great college coach. I don't know if he's going to be able to handle all this.
Here's my response. Yes and no. Kitchens is going to learn on the job. Yes. Kitchens has the trust of the locker room. I mean, I was at training camp when I did the Joe Schobert interview as a media member, and I could tell there was something different in the air. There was something that you could not put into words that it's just like, this is going to be a team that, even if they just fall short of the playoffs, this team is going to go at least 9-7 or 8-8. This team is going to succeed in ways that Browns teams in the past haven't.
That's a failure, though.
I don't think it's a failure because think about it. The Browns
to these fans, it's a failure. These fans have expectations
let's say
on
the
Browns right now. The expectations are through the roof.
But imagine that if this 8-8 or 9-7 platform year, let's say that happens. I'm not saying it's going to, but let's say that's the case that ends up happening, and the next year you go 12-4. I don't think that's a failure. I think that's honestly the most successful thing you could have done because you learned on the job, you won, you didn't lose a lot, and you, going forward, you built yourself up for success, and you go 12-4, make the playoffs as a division winner, and then you just blitz through to the Super Bowl. Yeah, that would be a success in my mind. You have to think of it. I think you gotta give it at least like a. I'm not saying give Kitchens 2 years, but think of it like as a 2-year stepping program.
I completely agree with you, but I'm gonna counter with 2 things. Number 1, Philadelphia. Remember the first year when we had Carson Wentz, Doug Peterson. Everybody called Doug Peterson the most unqualified coach in the league because we had no talent. We lost a lot. We learned. The next year we won the Super Bowl. I agree with you there. The difference is with this team. Expectations. There has never been expectations with a rookie head coach and a team like this before.
And here's the thing, I don't think
I'm going to remind you of this. When the Odell Beckham trade happened, you know what you said? You said we're better than the Patriots. Those were the words that came out of your mouth, Sean.
I did not know back then how this thing would go out. But
those were your words. Those are the expectations that are putting on this football team.
I mean, they have. Well, I'd say now that I've been able to look back a little bit, We have just a little bit better of a running back core than Patriots when we have Kareem Hunt. We have probably better receivers, barring Josh Gordon returns to, 2012, 2013 form. Because outside of Edelman and N'Keal Harry is a good guy, I don't see their running wide receiver core being as good. And then tight end is obviously the big question mark for them because they've had to go through so many, bring Ben Watson out of retirement, suspended, another tight end suspended. And if you didn't see, there was a story that on Gronk earlier this week, he was basically...
Yeah, I saw that.
I'll spare you all the details, but Njoku, either this year or next year, is his big breakout. I know people are saying, oh, he's looking good last year. I'm telling you, this year, next year, he's going to be a gosh darn star.
Here's my thing. The Browns may have the better talent, but the Rams have the better talent.
I would also argue that the Browns have the better defense.
So did the Rams last year. They got completely outcoached compared to Doug Peterson, who scored 41 points.
We'll be able to see when we play New England. We'll see.
Yes, you will see. You will lose that game in New England on a 425. You will absolutely lose that game. Freddie Kitchens will be outcoached in circles by Bill Belichick.
If we're going to be on air the week after the Patriots game, because I don't know when that game falls.
We should. It's week 8. So
I will have you on, and I will play that audio back.
You will lose to the New England Patriots. I'm sticking
so I have you on record on
yes, that. I'm not changing. That is not changing.
All right.
Now, if Tom Brady tears his ACL, can I change my pick then?
All right, I'll allow you that.
I mean,
I will allow you that. I will allow you that because you would never think of that.
And I will allow you if something happens to Baker or Odell or one of the big guys.
Or if something happens to both of the wide receivers and then two of the defensive linemen.
Yeah, I mean, if something happens, barring injury, we have something on this then because I'm telling you, they're going to lose that game early on in the season. They're going to be lucky if they survive 5-3 for the first 8 games.
Yeah.
These first 8 games are tough. It's going to be a real detriment. This is my only.
By the way, I think you brought up bet. I think you still owe me money from that one bet.
Yes, I will.
I think it's $5, right?
Yeah, because we made a tiny little bet about the draft lottery. If you guys remember, I said that Zion would 100% be going to the Knicks. That did not happen. Which I am happy, by the way. I am happy.
I'm happy.
Thank God, because the Knicks stink, and I'm so happy because Madison Square Garden is the most overrated arena in all of sports right now because your arena is only as good as your team, just like the Staples Center. I know we only got about 10 minutes left. That's okay. We're going to wrap up here in about 3 minutes. But yeah, just like the Staples Center, right? If the Lakers and Clippers both stink, the Staples Center is overrated. Madison Square Garden's been overrated for the last 20 years. The Knicks stink. So I'm happy about that. Yep. But back to the NFL.
Yep.
As we kind of wrap this thing up. Look, the Browns, there's a lot of personalities. This is going to be the thing.
I feel like the personalities thing is overrated. I feel like that's an overrated narrative.
This is going to be their big test. When they're down in a game, late in the fourth quarter.
Baker Mayfield can do it. Baker Mayfield is the one quarterback.
I'm talking about what happens when Odell gets open, the ball is not thrown to him, or when Odell or Jarvis gets frustrated. Does he go? Pee in the end zone like a dog. Does he go throw?
Don't go cowherd on me. I don't think that's going to be the thing.
Does he go throw his helmet? I mean, this is real stuff. This is real.
I understand that, but I think that's the extreme end of the spectrum.
As Coward would say, he likes grown-ups. I like grown-ups. I don't like children.
And what happens if this trade made people grown-ups? Excuse me.
Well, does it? Do we know? We don't know. It's a concern.
And I don't think you should be as concerned because I think things will be fine. Kitchens is a tough coach.
But see, that's coming from a fan's perspective. I am coming from an outside perspective. I'm
trying to be as objective as possible. I understand there is some bias in what I'm saying, but I'm trying to be as objective as I possibly can while mixing the two.
I understand. All right, I'm going to give you the last words.
All right.
So, go ahead. Whatever we want to wrap on, Sean.
So,
what's your big takeaway?
So my big takeaway is that the Browns, I'm hoping they'll make the playoffs. I think they'll win at least 3 of their first 5 games. And I think the Indians are going to make the playoffs and not make me look dumb. And I'm hoping that when I write my articles for where things stand and for both the editions, NFL and MLB, that I'll be a very happy camper when I write those. And also, don't forget those have a little bit of snark in them for someone who's looking for some humor. But really, I'm just very happy where things are going, and then the Cavs are now the red-headed stepchild of Cleveland.
Fascinating stuff today, guys. Reminder, next week, no show. There will be auditions in this studio all week long. If you are a Kent State student, please come and audition. I will be in here on Friday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and I will be in here on Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to noon, helping with auditions, asking questions, stuff like that. I'll also be tabling next Tuesday and Wednesday night. I believe they're both at 6 p.m. But so if you guys want to come meet the host of Brandon's World and have a crazy conversation with me, that's where you can come check us out here at Buckle Radio. With that being said, like I said, no show next week.
And quick plug, if I decide to do so, I might do a live stream later, a long one, instead of staying on air. So if I do that, I will tweet that out. If not, this will be the last time you hear from me, probably on the airways or on live stream until around after tryouts.
It would be the week of the 9th. So we will be back on the week of the 9th. We'll see. We may keep this time slot, but we will see.
Yeah, I'm hoping honestly for noon to 2 with am I allowed to reveal who I'm partnering with right now?
If you want to, go on.
So right now, me and Enzo Orlando from Pass the Mic are partnering, and our hope is to get noon to 2.
And by the way, just as a note for you, Sean, I have offered to help with scheduling this year.
Ooh,
so
that's nice.
So I've never done the process before, so
I know Connor's not looking forward to it.
We're gonna try to get our spots, but there may be some people that have to fit these spots. So
true.
We're gonna try our best, but until next time, guys. For Sean Fitzgerald,
Heyo,
I am Brandon Lewis of Brandon's World, and you already know we are out of here.